what are you doing here? We're not ready yet, not for like months. However, you're here. I could do with your help. Follow me. So, I was playing around with NBN the other day, and specifically I was looking at the TZX files on our WASP mirror, and I noticed something that I didn't quite understand / didn't make sense to me. So I'm hoping that if I explain it to you, you can all explain it to me. So let's take Batty, one of my favourite games from my childhood, as an example. And here you can see after the header, the second load block is 3.3, nearly 3.4 seconds long, and it's a pause length there. So I didn't trust my tools, which is some stuff I was playing with there out of the repo for Fuse. So I tried Remy Sharp's amazing web viewer, and here you can see that it's same 3.398, and also the pause after the header for the next placeholder is 5.6. So over at the Next, I thought I'd give it a try and see what it looks like on the actual Next itself. And PySend sends up the stuff as usual. If anyone's used the TZX players are familiar with that. There's a small pause while it converts it to a WAV file. And I'm doing normal 3.5 megahertz here, so we can see in real time if those pauses match what the pauses were listed in those tools. So header comes in as normal, and then there's a very small gap, and then our data block. One next, two next, three next, and so there you see it's about 3.3 seconds. I'm not bothering accurate timing here. I just want to get a rough feel if the numbers listed in the tooling matching the numbers that we are seeing in real life. And the reason I'm asking these questions is pretty simple. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, and data. So there we go again, about 5.6 seconds, you see. So I don't remember these gaps on these tapes being that big. And here again, another big pause, as we just saw on Remy's tooling screen. And it's all very confusing to me, and I don't understand why the tapes had gaps that big. We'll go with TraceHQ next, because this is another game from my childhood, and well, that's a good enough reason as any. But here you can see 2-second pause and a 1-second pause. So but in Remy's tooling, if we pop it up, and it's a better display, we can see that later on there's a 13.5-second pause pretty much there. So let's kick that back. And yeah, there's our 2 again, and there's our 3. I won't show you all of them in this text interface because you've got an idea of what's going on. But on the Next, if we kick it off loading, now this is a much bigger game. It's a 128K game. There you can see it's a 117K data file. By the way, did you notice that Batty was only 32K, which is pretty impressive for a game that's so flipping awesome. And don't say it's simple, it's awesome. That's what matters. So up we load with this, and then because we're converting it to a WAV file again, it's going to take a little bit of time. And again, as I said, we're running all these at 3.5 because it makes the timing measurement much easier. But Batty kicks off loading, TraceHQ kicks off loading, excuse me there. And we get our header block, and it's a pause, and our data, and 1,000, 2,000, see, about 2 seconds. So far, what we see on the display for both TZXLIST, 1,000, this is the header block, and on Remy's tooling, match. So 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I'm not going to make you sit through all of this loading, so we'll fast forward a bit, and here we go, at the end of the big data block of TraceHQ, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I mean, I'm not counting super accurately, but you can see there that roughly matches what we're seeing. So Gauntlet up next. This is an interesting one because it's a multi-loader, but look at this, 10 seconds here, and then down a bit further we've got 17.9 seconds. So those are some chonking great big pauses. The second one doesn't coincide with a multi-loader break, but that's not the point. We'll double check everything with Remy because I don't trust myself, and his tooling confirms 10.8, 17.9 seconds. So I mean, I understand that sometimes there are big pauses in these things because these be computational phases or animations or music playing in between the different bits and bobs. But not all of these games have that, surely to goodness. So anyway, on we go, upload the TZX, 54K, and Gauntlet is a multi-loader with data bits on both sides of the tape, as it was back in the day anyway. Not that we're going to be going through all of that, but conversion to WAV happens. And on the Next itself, we use TZX to WAV. So there's 3 different tools that we're actually testing all these numbers with. So here we go, loader kicks off, header block as usual, nice and tiny. and our data block, which isn't actually very big for this, and count with D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just like Sesame Street. I can't count very fast. I was a bit fast on the counting there, to be fair, I think. But again, huge bits. So we'll fast forward, and this is our multi-loader. And I'm not going to bother counting here, but you can time it yourself on the little YouTube thing below if you like. Maybe you can believe I can't actually count to 17. And I'm just whizzing through the config screen here so we can get the loader screen back up in time for the press play on tape. So when the game starts loading, we get a raster bar, so we can actually make an easy timing point. But that was about 17 seconds again. This time we're with punchy, and we've got a 4.9 seconds to pause straight away after our first block with punchy. So this is going to be a nice, easy one to measure. Punchy was one of the free games that came with the +2, if you got it. Here we go, checking with Remy, and Remy's tool agrees 4.9 seconds. Now, Punchy was a horrible game, and not like the other three, a fondly remembered game from my childhood, because it was impossible. Others say that they could get away with it, but I couldn't. So here we go, up it goes. And wow, I didn't realise it was quite such a big game back in my youth. Maybe because I never got that far in it. It's all the samples, I suppose, because it has voice samples in this game. But here we go. Conversion happens on the Pi, and the audio kicks off. And we get our header, our leader, should I say, and our header block. And then we get our loader, and then we get our huge 4.9 second pause again. So now, this was just a basic loader from back in the day, so it wasn't like it was computing anything here. So this is the 4 files that we tried: Batty, TraceHQ, Gauntlet, and Punchy. All these are available on your local friendly WASP mirror, or you can use David's amazing ZXDB using Remy's awesome proxy to download these things and test it for yourself. If you know of reasons why this is the case it was, I would very surely like to hear from you. And you can contact with me very easily, of course always on Discord, and the easiest way to get with me interactively is there. But probably the most useful thing actually for this task is if you stick some words in the comments down below, then we can all see what each other is saying and collate their ideas and theories. I'm wondering, is it just that these were the pauses that people accidentally made when recording their tapes as TZX files? Is it that all of these games actually have more compute in the loading blocks than I thought, and I didn't realise it? I don't know. I'm not sure, and I really would like to know. I'm not proposing remaking any of these TZXs or anything like that, but I'm just curious to why it happened like it did. Anyway, thanks for joining this little exploration into my puzzlement with TZXs, or as you may wish to call it, counting with D, and I'll see you next time.